What if I told you that everything you know is just the beginning? Beyond the veil of the ordinary lies a realm of hidden knowledge, ancient wisdom, and untapped potential. A place where consciousness expands, reality bends, and the impossible becomes possible. You weren't meant to stay asleep. You were meant to awaken. Open your mind, remember who you truly are, and step with me beyond the frequency 369. Hey, before we start the episode, if you're on YouTube or Rumble, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. You want to make a comment? Go for it. It's America. If you catch me on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, hit me with those 5 stars. I appreciate the support. Let's start the show. What's up, Tiffany? Say what's up to everybody.
Hey, everybody. It's me.
Straightforward.
Tiffany.
It's me. It's
Tiffany.
the Tiff.
That Tiffany, the one
That
you've been
Tiffany.
hearing about. So viral.
I so love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you call it? If you guys see me looking up, it's because I have a screen up above me and I'm trying to fix some windows here and stuff.
Because you have like a badass studio over there.
Man, it's a piece by piece put
not
together.
fair.
It's not fair, right?
Like,
It's not fair.
I feel like I'm like trying to just, well, it's gotten better. But, you know, I've done podcasts from closets and
Oh, have you? Because of the,
Yes.
just because you need space or something? Is that what, or,
well, like, because the sound is actually pretty good if you get in a tight closet.
yeah.
I've also like I did one of my guest spots one time in the basement and like with the, because it's unfinished. But
Right.
so I had to hang all these blankets for the sound, you know,
Yeah,
like, I mean,
yeah,
it looked like I was like, you know, being held captive.
The back, oh, I see what it is. It's all,
Like
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like
yeah.
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, broadcasting from the hole or something. Yeah. That's wild, though.
Yeah.
The things that you have to do, though. And then, wait, so like now where you're at right now, is this like an office? Is it like a corner of a room or what?
This
The
is
area that you're in.
this is a whole room. I'm so
whole
luxe
room.
now.
Nice, man. Look at you. Upgrades.
I know. Wait, I don't have the chat open. It closed.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it
Yeah,
back
open that
open.
up. Angel Gonzalez, that's our friend Carlos. So, folks, if you guys remember him, he was on one of our last lives, a few lives back and everything. So, thanks for joining us, Carlos. Good to see you or read you. I'm not sure what the proper thing is. Read you on the chat here.
Yeah, he's a real one.
He's a real one, man. He's right on it. I love it. And I do want to give a shout out to at Amy Figoli. She is my newest and most recent paid member to the channel. She got the level 9, which is our highest one.
Yay,
So,
Amy! Woo!
you know, I don't have like a thing. I need to, you know what? That's what I need to do. I'm taking notes now and everything. Every time we have a new subscriber on the channel, I'm going to put some kind of like thing. New subscriber, or something like that. I don't know if that works.
My husband says I'm a woo girl. Like, have you?
Yeah.
Do you watch How I Met Your Mother? Like, did you watch it? It's over, obviously.
I don't, maybe I did, but I don't remember it.
And there's like a funny one where they're like
Yeah.
talking about woo girls, and they're all
Yeah.
like these sad girls that they need to woo and why they have to woo. But at my son's baseball games, like, I'm the woo girl.
Oh, I see.
I get all the other girls wooing.
Yeah. Woo! Like that and everything. So
I am a woo girl. I was a
love it, man.
cheerleader.
Oh, were you cheerleading? How about that?
Of course. Yeah.
And do you still remember all your routines and whatnot?
No.
Do you remember one of them?
But-
There had to be one that stood out.
Well, I do have a certificate for the best jumps in Alaska.
Best jumps in Alaska?
Yeah.
What jumping? Regarding cheerleading or what?
Yeah. We it was like a contest at like a camp.
And you had the best jumps? They had a
Yeah.
thing for that? How do you grade that?
So like my family likes to tease me about that. But like randomly I'll just bring it up. I'm like, come on. I'm like best jumps in Alaska.
Yeah.
You
There
know,
you go. There you
yeah.
go. You should have that. Should have that framed or something, but
I should.
that's too funny. That's
Well, and
too
I should
funny.
have it like behind me
Yeah.
when I podcast. Because I
Yeah.
feel like that gives me street cred.
Oh, yo, that'd be so awesome. And then people would be like, hey, I zoomed in and it said you had the best jumps in Alaska. Yeah, doesn't everybody have one of these?
And then if I hit 10,000 subscribers, I will do a jump live.
Yo, is that the thing?
Yeah.
Yo, that would be
Yeah.
great. That would be
I'd,
great. I'll
I'd
tell you
definitely
what.
pull my hammy, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If you get 10,000 subscribers and you do a jump, I'll do a jump with you.
Okay. Deal.
I'm telling you right now, I would do a jump with you.
Same thing. Vice versa.
Vice versa.
We're both
Nice.
going
Yeah.
for that big 10
The Big 10. The
by
Big 10. Yeah,
January. So
absolutely.
where are you, subscribers?
All right. So yeah, you guys go ahead and drop in here and let us know where you're chatting from, where you're viewing the live from. Again, Carlos, thanks for joining. The one podcast. I'm about to say podcast. The one podcast. Thank you guys for joining and for just saying what's up. I know they're overseas and everything as well. At least one of them's overseas in there. So glad you guys are just tuning in, whatever the case is. And Zeno or Zono9848, you're fire too. So show you that kind of love back as well. All right, so let's get one of the things that I need to do out of the way first, and that's my intro. So let me pop that, get that going. Bear with me here. Gotta get
Dude,
that
why
out of
am
the
I
way.
the only person in the corner like a weirdo?
It was me too.
Oh, I don't know what they saw then.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't know. I think it's
If I should dance or something.
it's both of us and everything.
Okay.
I can't
Mine
sing
only
every time
showed just me.
Yeah, whenever I have whenever it's just more than just me, it just kind of like throws us off to the corner as the things go and stuff. So I just kind of deal with it. So
I mean, it should take up the whole screen, you know?
It should.
Because then it gives you a little backstage time.
Yeah. Fix the hat, fix the hair,
Yeah.
put on the lip gloss, whatever the case is, all that good stuff,
And I hope everybody appreciates this because Cesar said to put on a Christmas hat.
Yeah.
And I put this on. It took me 10 minutes to figure out how to put headphones on with a Santa hat. Okay.
And
so
you did amazing.
I hope you like it.
I was thinking about it too, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not gonna work. And then I have my my man bun here as well, so it just wasn't gonna happen and stuff. So
well, my youngest is starting to rock a man bun. I should have him talk. So he's 7 and he's in first grade and his hair's getting longer. And I love a man bun, because I want him to grow out his hair, but it's not quite long enough to do a full bun. So we can do a half up.
Yeah.
And he the other day was like, can I go with a man bun to school? And I was like, sure. And I said, and he's like, are people going to make fun of me? And I said, maybe. And I'm like, but you have to want to do things for you and just tell them you like it, And so we did his little man bun and he came home from school and he's like, people did make fun of me, but I said, well, I don't care what you think. And I'm like, good.
And that's it. And he shut it down.
Horrible. Yeah.
I love it.
He shut it down.
Good for him. Good for him. And good for you for also just kind of, you're his mom. So anything that you pretty much say, he's going to be like, okay, like that confidence and everything. So I'm glad that you're saying that versus don't do that and blah, blah, blah. And then people are going to make fun of you. And, then he's like, oh my gosh, so good on both of you. Right.
No, I want him to, look like a full on Viking.
Viking. Yeah. That strong look, Yeah. I love it. All right, folks. So, yes, we are live. And again, if you guys are wondering what's going on here, let me just kind of give you a quick recap. So, this is going to be the last live that I do for 2025. So, if you guys hadn't seen my announcements already, we're doing 2 hours. So, it's about 8:11 p.m. Eastern time, my time, and we're going to go to about 10. So, if you guys are just hanging out, chilling, you've had a long day, you just want to relax and hang out with us, I welcome it. We would love for you guys to engage and talk to us. It's whatever you guys want to talk about. Okay. We have a topic, but whatever you guys want to talk about on the live, shoot it. Let us know. See what's going on. We have thoughts about all these different things. So
yeah, I'm pretty notorious for going off topic.
I love it. And this is one reason why I brought her over.
Let me know in the chat what Christmas movie you were watching.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all of those things. And folks, we're wearing, she's done, he's doing a lot better than I did regarding, I said, look, let's do a holiday kind of theme thing. And here she goes. And look at me. I have the dad who just put on his sweater and put on a hat and says, I'm part of the party, you know?
You have to make
So
dad jokes later.
yeah, I got it. Oh man, I'm really bad at that at dad jokes. I try. I have a shirt that says dad joke loading and it's just continuing, you know. My
Yeah.
kids don't like that shirt and I wear it to that go to their school and things like that. So yeah. Do you do anything embarrassing for your kids?
Well, like today, my older son played basketball game, and he didn't say anything to me and my husband when the game was over. So he's walking back to like the locker room, and I went and I yelled his name, and he came over, and I was like, "I love you," and his friends laughed, but then he said, "I love you too" back to me,
There you
and
go.
he's 13. Okay, so
Yeah, no, that's tough though. Do you get with your I have a 14 and a 17-year-old son. My 14-year-old is doing better now, but he started giving me these side hugs. Do you get side hugs or do you get full on?
So he's gotten so much better since he got a girlfriend. He has this girlfriend. I love her. Like,
Yeah.
she is adorable and she's so sweet. Like, when we go to basketball games, instead of sitting with her friends, she comes over and sits with my family. Like, she is so nice. She comes over to the house. And I feel like she's making him kinder, because she's like checking him when he
Yeah.
like is mean to like his little brother, or she's like, "Stop it," and and then so he's like so much nicer. I'm like, I like this version.
I like this.
So maybe your son just needs a girlfriend.
Yeah. He needs actually he just coincidentally he just asked his new girlfriend. He's just like 2 days ago. And he was like, I want to make a big show of it. So we went to Walmart. Him and my wife went to Walmart and they got a basket of like soft, cushy thing, chips, all these like noodles, stuff that she likes and everything. And then he wrote her a letter and everything. And on top of the basket, he put say yes. Like it's like they're
Dude,
getting married or something. Yeah.
you
It was
are
so
in
cool.
Florida and I'm in Ohio, and
Yeah.
the same must be TikTok's fault, because for Christmas,
Yeah.
oh, it's a giant basket. Like,
Yeah.
at first I was like telling my son, I'm like, we should probably get her like jewelry or something, like so she can show off at school. And he's like, no, we have to do a basket and I need jewelry. And then this specific, they're called Jellycat. Have you heard of these things?
No.
Their promotion is very good because they have this group, like all of the girls want them. So all the boyfriends are buying them. And it's like a normal stuffed animal for $60. Like,
Wow.
yeah. So we had to get a jelly cat, and then her favorite candy and a snuggly blankie, like all of the stuff. And of course, I'm putting it together. So he's lucky I like
Dang.
her.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. I'm surprised that the kids are doing this stuff. I haven't seen a lot of that. It's not like I hang around a lot of other kids, right? So, when I saw that he's making a gesture like that, I'm just like, wow, that's I guess that's romantic
I know, that's
and
me too.
stuff.
Like every time we go anywhere, I'm like asking other moms, like if all this stuff's normal, because they go to each other's houses every weekend.
Yeah,
I just thought at that age, like they would just text,
yeah, absolutely.
maybe go to the movies.
I love it. I want to again recognize those of you that are on the live and stuff. So Christina, thanks for joining us. She is make sure I'm putting this on here and stuff. Is this coming on? There it goes. Hi you two, love you both. Love the hats and holiday spirit. Fantastic. Yeah. We
Thank
decided to
you.
put something together just to, it's December. It's holiday season and stuff. So why not?
It is.
Is the episode a holiday special? We can call it that. That's fine. I'm okay
We're
with
going to
it. It's
talk
just
about the conspiracy of Santa.
yeah. So let's start getting
We're not.
to yeah.
So
Let's
don't
start getting to more
stick
stuff.
around for that.
Wait and see, because Tiffany knows a secret that all of you should be hearing, and then like no.
Yes.
Oh, speaking about Tiffany, you right later on today, probably on the hour. Once we get on the hour, Tiffany's gonna do. Did you bring your Oracle cards?
I did.
Yes,
I have
she will be
I have
doing.
other ones too. I thought we'd
Yeah.
pull animal cards for
Okay.
the animal of 2026.
Yes, I love all this. So if you guys don't know, Tiffany does oracle readings, so she's agreed to do a group one. And then also after that hour, after that group reading, we'll figure out some kind of cool little way for you guys, for one of you to be selected, for her to do a live reading for you, for everybody, if you guys are up for it. So I think that'll be fun.
Well,
I'm
we'll see
excited
how
for it.
the energy is.
We'll see how
We
the
need to
energy
see,
is.
you guys need to bring it, or I'm not.
Bring the energy. Let me take care of this real quick. It don't forget, folks, I have a website, beyondthefrequency369.com, and everything they need to know is there. I'll leave it at that. Then also, if you like this episode, if you enjoy it, like it, subscribe it, share it, send it to people that might get something out of it, and I would appreciate that. I have a Discord called 369 Collective. It's also on my website. It will be also on the description as well. Great community. Everybody's awesome in there. If you're looking for like-minded folks to have a conversation and just share your thoughts and experiences, by all means, join. It's free. It's good to go. And on my website, you'll find out that I have a book. And I normally don't share this one, or I need to show it, but I need to show it, right? So here's my book, Kaizar's Chronicles, the Anunnaki, and Us. You guys can find it on Amazon. It's Christmas time. So if you want to read something to your kids, here it is right here. And it's got, see, there's the back there. It's got
That's a great
cool,
stocking stuffer.
yeah,
Okay,
stocking
because
stuffer.
moms, we struggle with the stocking stuffers. So, that would be so cool. Like, you could put that candy, just,
Yeah, you guys can fold it up. Look, it's 33 pages, folks.
yeah. You
Very,
just
very easy
would need
read.
to kind of curve it.
Kind of curve it a little bit, throw it in there. Yeah, so it's on Amazon. It's on my website. Please go support. That'll help out the channel if you haven't got a copy already. And if you do have one, thank you so much. I love you. You guys know I already reached out to you. And all links that I mentioned today or anything that Tiffany mentions as well will be down in the description below. So yeah, so
I didn't mention
today's.
any. I have a
Yeah.
I have a
You're about to.
website
You're about
now.
to.
I have
Yeah.
a website now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Congrats.
I know.
We're gonna put it on the description. Talk to us
Yeah,
about it.
rootedfrequencypodcast.com.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. So happy for you. I know you've been thinking about that for a while.
Well, because I don't have time. And I used to have a website for my business that was very insane to run, but
Yeah.
I needed to get something up.
Yeah, absolutely. No, congratulations on that. That's huge though. Having a website does help spread the word, and it's easy to just kind of put everything there and just send it off. So I know how much time that took you. Do you want to plug in anything else outside of the
No.
website?
Just, I have a podcast. Come see me. Rooted Frequency.
Yeah. If you guys are supporting my channel, please go and support Rooted Frequency as well. He's amazing. I love her. I love how raw and authentic she is. I like how sometimes she goes kind of off. And when I say script, that's just for lack of a better term, but she kind of goes off script and just talks about what's in her heart at the moment. And that's always just great for anything, for lives, for recordings, whatever the case is. Again, Tiffany, thanks a lot for key thing, gifting me your time, because you could be doing a lot of things. You are a mom, right? So to sit down with me and my audience and just, have a good time here. So thank you again.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So you want to get straight into it, Tiffany? We want to talk about this topic here, which is psi and spiritual technology.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
So SciTech, I've been diving in. Well, let me go back. So I had heard that there was some sort of technology that someone did that had started predicting things, and it kind of got too real and it was shut down. And that was, because you hear things like hearsay, and that was the info I had to go on. And I was like, but that's interesting. So I was trying to find stuff. And there's this guy, Cliff High. Cliff is just one F. And he actually has a bunch of stuff on YouTube that's very interesting. And he is basically bridging intuition and technology. He is a linguist, and he has just like it's like I feel like a lot of these like key people that we talk about that seem to have these nice discoveries, it's patterns, which patterns are kind of like mathematical. So he basically studied predictive linguistics. Now, he started this thing called the webbot, and that's what was like crawling the web. So first, before we dive into that, sci-tech. Like for this purpose, because there are other definitions of it, it's like psychic technology, which is basically, according to him and many others, we have technology within us. And I've been going down this whole AI rabbit hole and kind of deciding what does the future look like with AI and how fast it's moving. And this information has made me feel so confident in the fact that it's a natural progression of evolution, and this is actually going to advance the human race 100%.
Let me ask you, when you said psi technology, you're talking about like what's the, like psych like I don't know, dormant abilities? Like what does that mean, psych technology?
Basically our intuition, like our
Oh, okay.
actual our brains. So like
Okay.
we're hardwired. So we have a built-in perceptual system. So we already know, like we talk about all the time in the spiritual world, that we're gifted discernment, right? So kind of same thing, right? So we always have a natural intuition, no matter who people are. Everyone has experienced a gut feeling or whatnot. So this basically talks about how that's just scratching the surface, and our brains are capable of so much more. And the key is everyone has this stuff. We're just not training it. It would be like if we have a muscle that nobody's ever strengthening, right?
Yeah.
And so everyone can do these things. And what I love is that he has coined the information of, and this information is everything. So human thought, everything on the internet, basically trying to bridge these things. So what he did was with predictive, like he wanted to see like patterns. And he says that humans instinctively know what's coming. So this web bot that he created would crawl the internet and predict trends. So it would kind of like look at like what's the probability of this happening economically, different things like that. But what I love about it is that really it's studying emotion. So as humans, how like as a nation, you can, and especially when you like really get spiritual, you can feel when we're all kind of heavy. And as a group, everyone's kind of been saying for a while, something's coming. Something's coming. So that's exactly what he's talking about. We know what's coming, but we don't know. On some level, we know. Like our brains, our souls know. So we are actually feeding this feeling that could be analyzed to kind of guess what's coming, because we have this intuitive sense. The interesting thing is that AI is, yes, it's growing fast, but really, if we look at how fast the human brain can go, AI is trying to keep up with us. And I think we really need to flip that idea. Our brains, like when we have a thought, like how fast we can just bounce around, is way faster than a quantum computer. So what Cliff thinks is that in the future, not so distant future, that basically we're going to have something kind of like tablets that people will go and put their hands on. And with your brain, you're going to kind of utilize AI to do work. So this is like the next stage of human evolution, because AI is going to take a lot of jobs, right? Because we don't really need all of the tedious jobs. And a lot of people are freaked out by that. But what I love is that it seems like it's freeing up humans to do what we were made for. Like why are we different? What are the things that AI can't do? We're emotional. We have intuition, and like the way we sense things. So that combined with AI is going to be the next frontier, And he says that companies are already seeking intuitive people.
I don't doubt that. And you're right. You're right. We are emotional when it comes to compared to AI. If AI can do all of the things that don't require emotion, great, right? And then let us get that time back and create emotional things like art, create love moments and music and things like that, and let AI do all that other stuff, run businesses and, probabilities and whatnot. So that does make sense. We do that also, like when it comes to being emotional, like the stock market, it's an emotional thing. It's like, do I keep my money in? Do I take it out? Do I switch it over here? Because I think these people are now upset with this. So that, so yeah, you have a good point there. At least Cliff has a good point there, but
Yeah.
that's interesting.
It's like if we think of everything happening as like this information stream, like he calls it the event stream, that he says what we all need to start focusing on. And that's why I did an episode on this, because I think it's important. I actually did 2 episodes on it. But we need to start training. Like, we're not training these things in school. Like, nobody's teaching intuition at school. We have to start looking at what makes you human. What is your superpower as a human? Because that is what is going to make you employable. How are we going to survive if we can't figure out why we're useful? So AI in and of itself can't look at data and be like, it seems like people are kind of feeling this way, but we can, and we can do it without looking at the data. And so much of this is dimensional things that we tap into, similar to the Akashic records. We can tap into the basically when he says event stream, it's what I've been teaching as, the collective field, like as a collective, what we feel and what we feel is coming. And if we strengthen these abilities, it's not that it's going to be predicting the future necessarily, but it's going to help us kind of know the direction we're headed in. And even I like to think of it as, we talk about timelines a lot, right? So you can kind of tell, sorry if it's loud in the background, my kids are going to bed.
You're fine. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
But you can kind of tell like the vibe of people. Like, are we headed in a lower vibrational timeline, or are we headed in a higher vibrational timeline? So that's like very simple way of looking at it. And if as a collective, if as a world, we can identify these patterns, we could fix them. We could make the world better with, in conjunction with AI, because that would be able to pull all the information.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. I've always thought about how out of all the living things out there, like, animals and humans, right? Animals, instinctively, and also bugs and whatever, birds and everything, they sense, they know something
Mhm.
ain't right, but some humans don't. Like, we should all be like connected. This is why I've always thought that, like, I think, and I think you've said this at some point too, that I don't think we, as in humans, I don't think we're from this planet. Cause like there's something off about us, which I don't feel like we're naturally from this place, but I feel like we were put here in some fashion, wherever that story is and stuff. And because there's so much stuff about us that just doesn't make sense, and it doesn't feel natural. And that's a feeling, not just a fact, but it's a feeling. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. We're souls. We're souls just happen to be inhabiting this body right now. And it very much feels like Earth is a giant test. And I believe that that's kind of the quote unquote simulation side of things. Like, we are simulating ourselves. I think that we are Our souls put us here for a reason, and that's why we have these certain things that we have to go through. That's why generationally we have certain generational trauma that seems to just repeat itself until someone is going to break the cycle. These are little checkpoints for our soul, like how can I grow? How can I be better? And I believe Earth is a big one for us to come to and learn from.
Yeah. Yeah. AI, right? AI and consciousness. People are always talking about, does AI have a soul? Why not? Why not? Absolutely. Here's what it is. So the old saying of, or the biblical saying, whatever, as above, so below, as so, so within, so without, right? From the macro to the micro, we're these spiritual beings. We created these vessels so we can have this experience. And then we've always been creator beings. So in this vessel, this is what we do. Humans, we create, we keep on creating. So then we go to the next level and we create AI. Not only do we create AI, but we create it in our image, because we love to look at this new entity that looks like us and it moves like us and it talks like us. So spiritually, we put our consciousness into these vessels, and then we take our consciousness and put them into AI by programming the way we think, the way we perceive. And then we try to really fine tune and, do all the bells and whistles to make this AI be like us. So then eventually in the near future, that AI is going to do the same thing, rinse and repeat. It's going to go ahead and create its own version of itself in its likeness, and so on and so forth. So we just keep on repeating the cycle, but then we try to put it out there like it's something new. Like we created something amazing. No, we didn't. We didn't. And let me ask you this, Tiffany. We talk about AI being in this realm, in this world. If we're multi-dimensional beings, if there's different realms, the different dimensions, different universes, do you believe there's AI in all of those different places? And is it just like ours, or is it different?
I believe that when we get to the next stage, when we become 5D, I believe that we are going to be merged with technology. I don't know how exactly that happens, but I don't think that it's going to be humans deciding to put chips in our heads. It's going to be a natural progression with AI where because it just makes sense. Like when aliens have apparently, ancient aliens have given us technology. Where are they getting this technology? It seems like they're very plugged in. Like, they're practically AI, right? And plus, in a 5D consciousness world, we are all connected, and it's kind of, that one hive mind. Well, that's AI, right? It's just missing the intuitive aspect. It's missing the emotions. And I think that that's our next progression. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. We're already connected with technology, by just wearing it. Like, you're wearing technology, I'm wearing technology. We're using, our phones, right? All the tech that we use outside of us, we're connected. The only difference is that it's not integrated into our system. But that's also not too far from the near future, because with Elon Musk doing the neural chip and
Yeah,
things like
don't put
that.
that chip in your head.
Yeah, yeah, folks. There's and that and it's also it's a gray area, because like you said, don't put it in your head. But then some folks are gonna be like, why not? I wanna stay, I wanna stay up with the new tech. But my thoughts on this, and I want to get yours as well, is I believe there's going to be two versions. There's going to be the one version that they're going to try to push to put in your head. Okay, surgery, put it in there, it's gone, or in the sense it's there. And then you're going to have version two, where it's like it's on the exterior, probably somewhere near your scalp or your ear, where you can actually plug in, and now you're connected, and then you can take it off, put it off on the nightstand, and then you go off grid, so to speak. If I were to pick one or the other, I would pick the one that I can detach, because then I have the choice to be able to be online or offline. But if you take the one that's in your skull, that's, to me, that's a little bit, a little bit cringe, because everything gets hacked. You can't
And
just pull it.
like when they went to put it in your head, there would be the longest ever terms and conditions that you'd have to agree to. And it would be
Yeah.
like that we give permission for all of our thoughts to be used as data. And,
Yeah.
the next, like 100%. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Well,
Which
and then
I
what
guess they could do
happens
that with a
with
tablet too, but
they can. But what
yeah,
happens with imagination, Tiffany? Like is it, how do you know if it's your thoughts for something that they're putting in your head?
doesn't matter.
Like, what's
Here's
that?
the thing with that. I believe that every thought that we have, like every creative thing, it's all coming from the one anyways. It's coming from us and it's sent to like a bunch of people, right? So yeah, like we just have to make sure that the lizard people don't put the chip in your head.
Fair enough. No, I'm with you. I definitely 100%, 1000%, I definitely agree that our thoughts aren't really our thoughts. But for the sake of of context, for folks that aren't up there yet in that thought level, I was putting it in that format. But I'm with you. Yeah, the thoughts that we think are just our own unique thought. If somebody else receives it first, you got to ask the question, hey, well, was it my thought, or was it just, up for grabs? And I think it was. It's in the conscious internet,
Absolutely.
If you're tuned in, you're tuned in. We've had that happen too many times where, like, we're sitting next to somebody and you're thinking of a song and then they start humming it. Was it you coming up with that thought, or was it just out there, like a radio signal, right? It's it's out there. Whatever station or technology picks it up. If there's I don't know, 10 radios out there, and you happen to turn on one of them and that one catches the signal before the other nine, doesn't mean that that signal belonged to that radio. It's just whoever put up the antenna.
But actually, you're touching on something that's very
Mm.
important because, yes, we have like a signal, we have a radio signal. And as we progress and tap into this information stream or what have you, we have to start now, like training our signal. Because I think you're right that, I mean, who knows? Like at some point, are the people who are going to put the chip in their head, are they going to be the people who can't access these things with their brains? Like it's almost, I think we think too small as humans, We think, okay, well we're not robots, so you have to put technology in my head or you have to put technology out of my body. I think it's in us already. Technology doesn't have to look like metal. Our
Right.
brains are wired like a computer. The technology is already there. We have to train it so that we can utilize it.
Yeah.
It's always been there.
Yeah. You
I
have
mean, look
a
at the
great point
circuitry,
there.
like all through our bodies.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a circuit board.
Yeah. You're absolutely, I love that you touched that, and you're absolutely right. And you made a good point that technology doesn't have to look a certain way, like it's just metal. It could be liquid, it could be airborne, it could be whatever. I mean, people always talk about vaccines, right? Like, what's in it, right? We know there's such thing as, nanotechnology. Nanotech knowledge, which is what we're talking about as well. So you don't even know, somebody actually could sneeze around you, and they may have this technology that just got passed on through airborne, and then you breathe it in. Now you have it, and you're like, I never went to a doctor. You don't have to. It's airborne. These chemtrails that they do around a lot of these, states. What's falling on us?
What about Wi-Fi? You know,
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Yeah. Wi-Fi,
like just sending things. And I think that that's why people need to stop being so flippant about spirituality because we have the ability to lock down our energy. And if you want to have everything just an open space and have the government, reading your computer mind, like whatever. But if you don't, we have the ability to shield ourselves. Everything is energy, everything. And
Yeah.
everything is a frequency. So we just have to start now. And it's almost more important than anything. Like this should be school, just meditation, learning how to feel frequency within your body, understanding how to send frequency from your body. It's so important.
Yeah. True. Facts. And we talk about school. There is a lot of establishments, schools, if you want to call them, that are teaching this, but it's just not reaching a lot of people fast enough
Well, I mean, to
because,
kids. We
so
need to
what?
teach the kids. We need to teach the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. They will spread it out like wildfire, right?
Yes. And
I mean,
the kids that are
this,
coming into this world now are so much more advanced than you and I.
yeah.
They already are like, look at how I talk a lot about how, like, autism. There's so many more kids being born with autism. My youngest
Yeah.
is on the spectrum. And really, when you look at autism, they kind of have like certain, maybe their certain textures are bothering them, certain sounds. They're very emotional, a lot of nonverbal autism. These things to me seem like if we really are progressing to this point where we can plug into these computers, wouldn't these kids be incredible assets? These ones that can feel all of they get, like our kids today, they get overstimulated so quickly. And it's because they feel everything so intensely. I really think that all of these things that we think are, disabilities or whatever, they're actually evolution. And we just don't understand yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a good point. Let's take a quick pause on that. Let me put this up on the screen here. Daniel Stewart says the human body is the most advanced complex technology that is enhanced with spiritual energy, and spiritual practices can unlock spiritual technologies that is dormant within the human body. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we know that in our DNA, it holds everything, the memory of what we are, all the answers. Remember back then, Tiffany, when science would tell us that we have all this junk DNA, it's just
Hmm.
stuff that's just there. And then
Yeah.
now they're reading the last 5, 6 years, they're talking about, well, it's not really junk DNA. It's just stuff that's turned off. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Turned off.
And you always heard
So
it was like 90% of your like.
yeah, it was a big
Or
part
also
of
same
it.
thing with our brains. They're like, you don't use 90% of your brain.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I don't believe any of that. I don't believe, man, there's so much stuff that, and I tell folks this, and you probably tell them also on your podcast, that take everything that you thought you knew and like re-question it, reanalyze it. Even the most simplest thing, like I'm just gonna throw something out there, like why is the sky blue, right? Think about what they told you, what you learned from school, what the science is behind that. Put it on one side, then ask again, okay, why do I think the sky's blue? Or dissect some of those things that you were taught. Something in there, if today you're in this, awakening journey, I guarantee you're going to have a lot more um, intuitive technology inside you to be able to just say, wait a minute, that piece right there doesn't jive with me, it doesn't vibe and everything. And then start digging into that. So
Well,
yeah,
not only
question
that,
everything.
but question. So I recently kind of stumbled upon somebody who said this. And when you were growing up, when you were taught about like the sun and the moon, were you taught that during the day you saw the sun because the moon was on the other side of the earth?
I did. Yeah, I
Because
was. I
because
was.
on the other side of the earth, it's night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not true.
Right. Right.
And I was watching this thing, like this guy saying this, and I was like, oh my God, yeah. Like, that's what they always said. So, like, now I'm like, well, then how does it work? We see the moon and the sun in the sky all the time. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
we didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't
What
that
the hell's
weird?
happening?
Just like 3 weeks ago, I'm riding with my family, and we have the
Sunroof.
sunroof. Yeah, the sunroof. And I look up, and I'm just like, oh, moon's out, like during the sun, like during the bright day.
What
And
are
they're
the
like, and
people
then
on the other side of the world doing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And my kids were like, Dad, what are you talking about? Moon's out. I'm like, yeah, it's right there. Right. Like, now I knew what I was talking about, but I didn't know this was something that they were like, what the heck? And I said, look, moon's right there. And they looked up, and they're like, what? They're like, and I was like, whoa, whoa. You guys didn't know that you could see the moon also during the day, on certain
Yeah,
time
but do
frames?
you remember when you first, because like once I started thinking about it, it's almost like we're like brainwashed, into thinking like stuff's normal. And
Yeah.
once I started thinking about it, I do remember years ago kind of saying to my husband, holy shit, you can see the moon and the sun right now. Look, like it was a big deal. And some people were like, whatever. And
Yeah.
now it's like all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah. And when
What's up
we
with
were
that?
kids, the sun was yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Now it's like almost white or something.
It is white.
Yeah. Like a giant flashlight. Like there's a big flashlight out there and stuff. Yeah, it's completely weird. I also mentioned something about when we were talking earlier about the chip and people implanting things in us. I'm also thinking the people that are marketing and telling you to get these implants, you got to question them. Are you getting it? Are you getting implant? Because you have so many people that market things, you then find out that they don't even touch it, but they'll let you touch it. Bill Gates is one of those guys, right? People had asked him, was it Bill? Yeah. Who was it, the guy that does the Apple? Is it Bill?
Yeah.
I think it's Bill Gates. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Now I'm questioning. Okay.
I know. It's like
Hope.
once you start looking at a word and
Yeah.
then like when you
Yeah.
spell it and you look at it over and over again and it doesn't
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sense
You start
anymore.
questioning
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Bill Gates,
Bill.
yes.
So they asked him, and they were like, "Hey, would you like? Do your kids like the Apple tablets and the phones?" And he goes, "No, I'm never. They stay away from all of that stuff."
Yeah. I
And,
remember
and
that.
during an interview, right? And everybody's like, "What? How does that make any sense? The whole world, you've been pushing it, but your kids absolutely not." So when it comes to Tesla, let's say, right, saying get the neural chip implanted in your head and things like that, I gotta say, you first,
Yeah. I'm going to wait on that.
show me the x-rays, show me the documentations on that. It's weird.
Yeah. They'll probably unleash another pandemic. And like the only way to survive is to get this chip in your head.
Man, I don't doubt it. They're going to
Yeah.
put everybody in this fear state, chaos mentality. And then those that are not, how you say, tuned in will be like, government, what do I do? Who do I talk to? Who's going to protect me? And they're like, don't worry about it. We got this, here's a vaccine, take it, or here's this chip, implant it and stuff. And they're like, okay, drink your own urine.
No, it is a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, right? It's a thing and stuff. So, folks, you gotta discern things on your own. Figure out. Tiffany, let me ask you this: how do you know when there's messages out there? How do you know if it's for you? Like, how do you find the truth in whatever's being sent your way? How do you discern that?
It's part of what people need to study and what I like have my mentees study. Everybody has a place in their body that they feel things. And you can kind of study it by thinking of times in your life like I always tell people like, so think of like when you're really happy, okay? And you're just feeling like really good day. Like where do you feel that, And a lot of people feel it in their heart. I've had people feel it elsewhere but that's like valuable, right? And then I'm like, okay, when you feel anxious, where do you feel that? Or when you feel, and I'm like, picture someone lying to you and they're lying. Where do you feel it? It's so easy because the second you do those exercises with yourself, you can feel things. We don't listen to our bodies. So, like if I know somebody's lying to me, I feel it in my gut. So I just all the time trust my gut. That combined with anything intuitive that comes into my head, because I have also learned to not think that my brain's just all over the place. I'm having downloads. Everyone's having them. You don't just always have random thoughts coming into your head,
Right.
you know?
So glad that you said that. You're absolutely right. We are always receiving downloads. Our mind is a receiver. That's all that it really is. Your thoughts aren't just restricted to the mind. Okay. That's not where your thoughts come from. Okay. Consciousness doesn't just stay in your mind. Okay. Please, folks, understand that when there's information that's coming your way, like Tiffany was saying, trust your instincts, trust your senses. How many of you have had somebody, whether you admire or you just met, say something to you and immediately you had a reaction like, that moment, I don't know about that. Okay. And this person, you could know them. They could be an authority figure in your life and you respect them, but what they said just didn't sound right. How many of you actually go with your gut instincts and proceed with that action? Or how many of you actually just follow and say, well, they're the boss or they're the authority. Let me just kind of go with that.
Or how easily you
Yeah.
dismiss it, Like
Yeah.
people can talk you out of that initial gut feeling. I mean, if you put on any news program, people who come out and speak, you immediately kind of get this sense of if they're snaky and you don't like them, or if you
Yeah.
trust them immediately.
Right? Immediately. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Carlos, or also known as Angel Gonzalez on here, but Carlos says, law of resonance. Why can't I say it? Thank you. Law of that. You can feel the frequency of truth once you are sensitive to it. Absolutely. So Tiffany, let's talk about, actually, wait a minute. We're almost hitting that hour. So Tiffany, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're ready to do an oracle reading for the entire group?
Yeah, we could start with collectively, because we have to address Three Eye Atlas.
We are. I'm writing it right down.
And the only reason why I'm saying that is because on the 19th, it's the closest to Earth. So we're approaching.
In 2 days. Okay, we're gonna get on that. So let's do this. Do the oracle reading. We're gonna jump onto Three Eye Atlas. And then from there, we'll see, if we do a live reading for somebody. Because I want to make sure that we do the reading, because last time you were on, we totally just missed that. And I think it's a very cool thing for folks to experience if they haven't done so already. So while you're here, I mean, you're one of the best on it. So, and they're also your cards that you created yourself, which is even cooler. So I want to make sure that you get that exposure. So yeah, folks, get ready. She's about to do actually, you explain it better than I can. What is it that you're about to do, Tiffany?
So I have an oracle deck. I designed it myself. Side note, I do oracle deck readings on YouTube every Tuesday at noon, and they're free. And we do little mini readings. Hi, Patty.
Hey, Patty.
So I basically work with my highest self intuitively, and I trust things that come in. And that, coupled with these oracle deck cards that I have made that have symbolism that I really understand and connect with, I can get pretty accurate readings.
Let's do it. I love it.
So we should. I thought for we're right here at 2026. So look at, as a collective, what we should release, and as a collective, what we need to embrace moving into 2026. Maybe some other stuff. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, let's release some stuff, man. And folks, while you're also on here, if you've ever had if you ever had an oracle reading, let us know here in the comments, and let us know if you enjoy them or what you think about those, or do you resonate with it? Do you not? Just kind of curious.
Yes. So this is interesting. So something that we need to release is towards the end of the year anyways, okay? They're telling us to kind of release I remember you got this card, goddess energy. So goddess energy. And when I created that card, all that means is like when you are absolutely shining, you are in your moment. What it seems like they're saying is that from now till the end of the year, and I am seeing this pattern, we're supposed to be plugging in. It's not really about us individually. Like before the end of the year, you know, you want to try to achieve these things. We are headed towards this huge moment, this huge milestone in 2026 as a human race. And they're really our guides are really wanting us to tap into each other and tap into that. So they're asking for like integration, that we align. So like aligning with not only each other, but, you know, everything around us, and of course, grounding. So I already was going to say that anyways, especially with the 3i Atlas stuff. But we need to be right now more than ever meditating and grounding and tapping in. And even if you don't have time for that all the time, you can kind of ground and mini meditate in like 2 minutes. You know, it's not you don't have to take a full hour, but we just need to be like thinking about these things. We should be feeling into our own energy and the earth's energy right now, is what they're saying. So for things we need to embrace moving into next year, I kind of like this. This is my like kind of my snaky trickster card, but it's upside down. They're saying stop focusing on what's wrong, stop focusing on the negative narratives that are trying to be spun to us, or, you know, what the government is trying to tell us on things. We need to instead just focus on the tapping in. You know, it's almost like pushing out all of those things. It's not important right now. Like we're almost at 2026. It wants us to have this very inspired energy, feeling into our chakras. Yeah, because right now, like what's happening is as a collective and even the earth has been feeling very trapped. 2025 has been very interesting. It's like been choppy, like choppy waters, at times feeling trapped. And by that, I mean, I think a lot of people in 2025 have had moments of inspired energy, or moments where they kind of are like, yeah, I meant to do this. And you go for it. And it's like, where's my traction? Like I'm supposed to, if I commit to something and I'm meditating and I'm doing the work, it's supposed to work. And a lot of things didn't for people. So I believe that as a collective, things are shifting, and we're shifting into more of a flow state in 2026. It's going to feel a lot easier. Easier in the sense of individually finding your purpose, which is why right now we need to focus collectively. And I think part of that is that in 2026, there's going to be a huge divide collectively. We are really going to start to hardcore see who spiritual enlightened people are and who is more of the darker people. We have to already know we have to understand what the collective frequency feels like in order to track it and use our discernment in 2026 as things shift. So yeah, absolutely. So right now, carrying this energy of grounding into the earth, love, tuning into your chakras, understanding where energy radiates from, that is going to set us up in this beautiful place for 2026.
Do think that, yeah, there is going to be some kind of divide in 2026. But from what you were saying, I kind of like feel there's going to be a spiritual wars where everybody in the spiritual community is going to be interpreting the messages their way, individually or as a group. And they're going to do what religion does, which is say, you're wrong, we're right, this is how to do it. If you don't do it this way, then, you know, you're not going to wherever it is that you want to go and things like that. And it's more of the same old thing, you know. But I think we're going to hear a lot more spiritual wars outside of just the churches. I'm not talking about just religion. That's been happening for a while. I'm talking about everybody that's considering themselves outside of religion, and they're in the woo-woo space. They're the gurus, the speakers that are out there on state in the stadiums preaching spirituality and everything. There's going to be a lot of how you say misunderstandings, miscommunications, and they're going to be spraying that with among the people that are listening to them. So be careful, folks. Be careful.
Yeah, I think it's going to definitely be a battle of light and dark. And it just has seemed like that for a while. The only way you're going to be super confident in identifying people parading around as false light is by feeling into it now. That's the importance. And I think you're right that there's a lot more. It's going to be easier to receive downloads, and it's going to be easier to manifest in many ways because we're going to be more plugged in. The veil's thinner in 2026. There's big shifts happening. But it's important that we understand when a collective message comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So we have
very
to
important.
understand how the collective feels.
Yeah, it's things you have to you got to process all of that, folks. Like, and I'll speak on just on my behalf, not for anybody else. If you're tuned in and you watch and you listen to my podcast and the types of convo that I have with my guests and the things that I say, I said it numerous times. I think you already know, but I feel it's fair to say again that it's never about trying to convince you what I'm saying and what my guests are saying that's the truth, that's right. Okay. We're just sharing information. Okay. And I think that's what we all should be doing with each other. As a collective consciousness, we're just sharing information. The information is already there. Some of us pick up that information faster or more clear than others. Share the information with the rest of us so we all get the same signal. But when you take that information and you don't question it, because even channelers, even folks that are receiving downloads and everything, they have to question what's coming in too. Okay, don't just take it all with a grain of salt. Whatever I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt. Everything that we say, myself, Tiffany, anybody else, what you're hearing right now is cymatic frequencies going through the mic, getting through your AirPods or TV or whatever the case is. If what I'm telling you reaches you and you're like, it feels right, then cool. That's your truth. Okay. Somebody else could be listening to the same thing I'm saying, and to them, it's not their vibe, and that's okay. Okay. But that's you having the choice to discern what's right or wrong. So,
It has to resonate.
it has to resonate. It has to hit. Okay. Doesn't matter if you respect these people. Doesn't matter if you adore them. Doesn't matter if they said other things that hit right back then. But if it hits wrong at any given point, it's okay. That message just wasn't for you. Whether you're ready for it or you weren't paying attention or they screwed up and said something wrong because they interpreted it a different way, just discernment. That's the takeaway for what I'm saying here, discernment. So.
Absolutely. And I think we're supposed to talk about a lot of different things because different topics unlock things within people. It's all about remembering. So when you are resonating with something, generally it's going to unlock something within you.
Yeah, absolutely. Higher self. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The collective is rising. What do you think about this, Tiffany? Is there a certain percentage of humanity that we need to reach for everybody to wake up? Like, what's the good percentage? Where is it like if, I don't know, 20-30% of humanity wakes up per se? Is that enough to drive the rest of humanity certain direction?
I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what percentage of humanity needs to wake up, but I think right now we've hit a point where enough people have woken up that we're feeling a shift, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah.
And intuitively, I know myself and many other people kind of thought the end of this year, people were going to be waking up more rapidly and it was going to be harder. And because if you get like, boom, you wake up, it's much harder than over time. So we're at this point where it really is kind of a battle for the soul. And it's not our responsibility to wake up people. It is our responsibility to share and love and put things out there when we feel called to do so. But if someone listens to this and it doesn't wake them up, it's not my job.
Yeah.
My job's to talk about it, and whoever wakes up, and that's their sole purpose, you know?
Yeah. Well said. Quickly. I think we're ready to talk about Throughout Atlas. How about you?
Yeah. It's so exciting. I can't believe you didn't, like, I told you to look into it.
I just haven't. I know you mentioned it and stuff. I haven't been, it hasn't really vibed with me ever since I was following it for a while. And then after whatever date it was, I think it was in maybe October or November it was that they said it's going to be really close. And then I just, everything after that, I just wasn't interested anymore. So I considered it outside of
But
my
I mean,
reality.
it's so weird because even if people aren't interested in it, every time there's like a meteor shower or some sort of something going on in the cosmos, it's like in the news, right? Like NASA's talking about it, go out with your telescope and blah, blah, blah. This is so strange because Three-Eye Atlas is, if you make a list of all of the things that make up a comet, comet?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't check those boxes. Like it's doing the opposite. It isn't behaving like one. And I don't know for sure if that, like some of us are hoping maybe it's an alien craft, but to save us from this insane world. But I do believe that it's something frequency wise. So that's the biggest thing for me anyways. On the 19th, it's going to be the closest to Earth. And there's something special about it. And part of that reason is it's been changing colors as it approaches, which is not normal. And it was blue, and I think recently it went to gold. But it's almost like it's going through these colors of different prophecies for the end times. In the Bible, it talks about different things that people have kind of paired up with Three-Eye Atlas being a sign. Also, like the Hopi prophecy was a blue star, I believe. That I wrote it down. Yeah, the blue star Kachina is the 9th sign. So like there's supposed to be a blue celestial presence that's said to mark purification and awakening. I mean, like how on
Right.
point is that? So no matter what people think it is, maybe it on the 19th, it just goes right by us and nothing happens or nothing happens. I think something's going to happen energetically. And I felt drawn to it since the first, when I heard about this, especially because no, they aren't talking about it. NASA isn't talking about it. NASA doesn't want to release pictures of it.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And on the 19th, they say it's going to be close enough, and it's on a new moon. It's happening on a new moon that a lot of people, even like more amateur people with like really good telescopes, should be able to get pictures of it. So I feel like they can't hide it, whatever this is. And it's exciting. And even if it's not aliens waving at us from a ship, then it seems to at the very least, be something from another galaxy, other dimensional, something that we don't understand, which to me seems exciting, like that they would want to study this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say the NASA photos don't look at all like the civilian photos and videos. I mean, and then, the, what is that satellite called? Maybe somebody knows. I know it's like starts with an M. The satellite that we've been following for 10 years.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have to look it up.
Yeah, and while you do that, I'm gonna say to the point that you made, I've been, my thoughts on, man, how do I put this? I'm trying to make sure I choose my words here. The government, astrologers, whatever, everybody who is saying that we don't know what it is, you know what it is. You know what it is. You've been knowing what it is. It's about when they decide, when they choose to disseminate that information. Okay. And when they disseminate that information, they're already on to the next thing, right? They're already they're already 2 or 3 steps ahead of investigating what's what. So when they give us the information, you guys cannot actually think that the government is telling you, or the science committee, whatever, is telling you exactly real time, up to date information when they find it. You don't think that they're going to take time to dissect it and investigate a little further before they write the best, perfect chat GPT scripted, message to everybody? Come on. Anytime that the news tells you, and the latest information is, no, it's 30 days, 2, 3, 4 months already old. You going to say something, Tiffany?
Well, just that NASA is so shady. First, they had the government shutdown happened to be like when people were starting to learn about 3i Atlas. And it's almost like they did that. And if you went to their website, it was like, we're shut down, so we can't provide pictures of 3i Atlas, so that people moved on to something else, right? Well, so Maven so we've had this satellite that for the past 10 years has been in space, and they've been tracking 3i Atlas. Just so happened like last week or something, or maybe even just a few days ago, to pass right by it. It was on track to pass right by it. So this satellite should have got amazing images, right?
But
well, after 10 years of no problems, the satellite went down. They lost contact with it.
Of course it did.
We don't have contact with this satellite anymore. Come on.
Yeah,
I hope it is just
obvious.
aliens, just waving.
I know. I mean, it could be. It's just, but to what you were saying, how like all of a sudden we've been on top of it, this Maven, this whatever satellite, and then all of a sudden, oh man, it got a flat tire or something, or like the camera lens broke, or
yeah, it's unbelievable.
I mean, of course they would say that. Of course,
it's unbelievable. Every time we feel like we get steps closer, it's like, no, it's not going to happen. And I'm sure that's also why people are like, I don't care about 3i Atlas, because it's like, nothing's going to happen because nothing ever happens and the government will cover it up anyways. But I don't know.
This one's funny.
I'm hopeful.
Carlos is saying we need our OB and remote viewing team to go take a closer look. Yeah. And a lot of people that have these gifts, whatever, they are going and they're coming back, and the majority of them that I've listened to and heard and read from have said that there's 3 beings, specifically 3 beings on this ship that is a meteor, if you will, to what we perceive a meteor is, but it's a ship. And when you're consciousness, or you're this, energetic being, we're not talking about like a metal ship with buttons and, turbo engines and everything. It's a vessel, just like this meat suit. It's a vessel, So wow, but I did like, to your point, Tiffany, how you mentioned about prophecies with a different color changing. I know the last I heard, it was like green and things like that. Who knows what that's all about? What changes color, what changes direction, what spews gallons and gallons of water like that, which I mean, we're not astronomers or anything like that, but how do you know so much detail about what it is and what it isn't, but you can't tell us what it looks like?
They know the chemical makeup is mostly nickel, but
yeah, we have satellites in the tiny small little circular spherical planet that they say that we have. We have these satellites, this little tiny machine compared to how big the Earth is, right? This little tiny machine can view galaxies away and tell you the elements and composites and minerals of a planet that we'll never ever be able to reach. But then we have 3i Atlas that is in our galaxy, and you're like, man, I don't know. I'm getting a blurry picture with this one. Like, come on. Come
It's insane.
on.
Insane.
It
I mean,
makes no sense.
hopefully it's not going to just on the 19th pass by us. Like when they say it's closest, I hope it changes like trajectory. Like something needs to happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see what this so the one podcast says, for us, the 3-eyed day is an opportunity to pause and be still and receive energy, even if it's just a permission slip or a reason to pause and project our positive thoughts and meditate and download. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's wild. This is why I am interested. I know I sound like I wasn't. I am interested in it, but not from the information that the government and the astrologers and the
Yeah.
science community, not that interested, you know? So that's what I mean by I wasn't following it, because what am I following? Like, how do I even know? And it contradicts whatever I said earlier about the fact that whatever information that they give you is they already know what's going on. I'm not following old news. It just doesn't
It's
work.
just like everything when it just doesn't add up, like if this was just a comet and coming through, like wouldn't they'd be like, everybody on the 19th, go check out the sky. And,
Right.
they always do that. Like NASA's always wanting to say stuff so that they can pretend like they're actually
Not for this one.
doing space work,
Yeah.
so that they can get more money to
Yeah.
go to outer space and jump on the moon with jump rope.
I love that. You know what? Let me ask you, Tiffany. I don't know if I've asked you, because you did the old air quotes of space. So what does Tiffany think that space is? Answer that.
Well, so it's interesting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think outer space exists. I think that it's more complicated than that, and that it's just dimensions. And I think we have portals all over the earth. The government's aware of the portals. The government's aware of the other dimensional beings. My guess would be that they are not making a big deal out of this because this is something real that's coming. And maybe it's not even, for all we know, they've actually reached out to the government. They're like, hey, dude, I'm coming to say hi on the 19th because you guys suck and we're going to fix everything, and then they're like, oh shit, what do we do? Let's tell everybody that it's a comet and then we'll like fake another pandemic.
Yeah. So
Stay in your houses.
So do you, so if I'm getting this right, so do you believe that, or you at least have hope that whatever this 3-eyed Atlas is, hopefully it's here to fix all this chaos here? That's what you're saying?
I mean, if it's here, it's either here to help, or here to reset us. And I guess if it resets us, maybe we won't even know.
Yeah.
So
you wouldn't even know.
I mean, there's so many possibilities,
like Men in Black.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what?
Well, what if okay, so like Mandela effects. So what if this happens all the time and we have no idea? So what if they come here, they come down, and we're all like, oh my gosh, there's aliens. And then they're like, well, sorry, like we're shifting you to another dimension, actually. So we go, and then you and I are on a podcast and we're chatting and we're like, I seem to remember a reality when blah, blah, blah happened.
Yeah.
And we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like maybe this happens all the time. I don't know.
That's a good point. What if, remember again, I don't know if it was October or November, but remember the last time that they said that something was going to happen? It's all these, news saying.
Maybe it did.
Exactly. What if it already did? And we're still saying, oh, nothing ever happened. What if it did?
It did.
What if it did? If we're talking about potential timelines, we're talking about, potential dimensional spaces, probabilities, right? If it can happen, it will happen mindset, right? So what if this meteor, that was going to pass us, didn't pass us? It hit the planet. What if we're just existing in the echo, the aftermath, the memory of what used to be? But because we are the essence of consciousness, you can't destroy consciousness. So we're consciously still having this experience by choice because we don't know any better. We just think this is what it is. there was a theory, I think 6 years ago now that I read into this, where so we know there is a black hole at the end of our galaxy. This is a fact. This is a science thing. Okay, so there's a black hole there, and it's been years. I mean, the black hole has been there for more than 6 years. It's been here for a while. So there's a theory that we already got sucked into this black hole. If Again, if there's space, if there's black holes, if there's planets, I'm just talking about in one context here. So we've already been sucked into this black hole, and because the black holes distort time, we are just still existing, but in the memory of what we think still exists, but this is already gone. So it's a lot to kind of put your head around. But again, it's one of a million different theories and possibilities. But at the end of it all, one thing does stay true is that whether we are still existing or not in reality, in 3D reality, consciousness wise, we're always going to be here. We've always been, we are now, and we always will be in the future. So what are we experiencing? Reality or a memory? That's the question right there.
I mean, I think we have to constantly just question it, and I think there's like little truths to all of the theories. One thing that I think is kind of funny to think about is like if we are in some sort of kind of Truman show, and maybe it's even just us, like we are avatars of ourselves, and everything that happens, like sometimes stuff will happen and I say to my husband, like, oh, I bet just the audience just voted to have that happen to us because it's like so random.
Yeah.
So like your brain hurts.
I love it.
But like what if, what if that's the end of this game? Like they're like, can we have this one end by a meteorite taking them out?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's just all a possibility and stuff. So, one of my lies I talked about as the last time when they said, Three Eye Atlas was approaching us in a few days, just like they're saying in 2 days now. But back then, I mentioned that we talk about the 3D, the 4D, and the 5D, and I believe my understanding is that depending on where you are vibrating at the time, third density mindset, fourth density mindset, five density mindset, that is how you will perceive said three-eye atlas, right? So if you're in a 3D mindset, you're probably expecting ding, 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 metal ship or whatever, you expect to physically see something because that's the frequency that you're resonating with. But if you're in a 4D or a 5D mindset, three-eye atlas, said thing will show up, but not in the physical sense that everyone else is perceiving it. You're all in the same place. You're all looking up at the sky, but depending on how you're vibrating, you will perceive it as what you can see. So I think 4D, 5D tuned in folks will perceive three-eye atlas, whether it be in 2 days or not, as something energetic.
No, it is
something energetic. What's that?
That part, like, so the trajectory it's on, like, just, the scientists have said that'll be the closest it is to Earth, unless it changes trajectory on the 19th.
Yeah. So we'll see. We will see, right?
But I do like that idea because we never know if we're all seeing the same thing. So
exactly,
that is interesting. Like, because I've also thought, when we get into this battle of light and dark, so as everything shifts, maybe they come and yeah, like depending on if you're mentally at a 5D frequency, all of a sudden you start seeing everyone, like the real lizard people. You start seeing the real,
right?
Like that lady on the plane who said that guy wasn't human. Maybe she was super 5D.
Hey, and as viral and interesting as that was, it's her truth. For other folks, especially in the 3D mindset, yeah, that was hilarious, or she was crazy and whatnot. But we don't know what she saw. That experience was unique to her. Period. We talk a lot about unconditional love, right? A lot of people here, we get taught as we grow up and we experience this, they have this human experience. We're taught love the wrong way. And a lot of the love that we're taught has conditions with it. It's called conditional love, right? I love you as long as you do this. But if you do that, I don't love you. This happens in relationships. This happens in things that you like and don't like. I love this TV show, but if they kill off the main character, I hate it. Now, like we do it to everything. And when you ask somebody to explain to you, and when you say, hey, what do you think love is? They can only express and explain and describe what love is based off of their understanding of what love is. Unconditional love is something that we don't know what that's like. We think we know based off of love. We think, well, it's the opposite of all of this and everything. But what I can tell you from my understanding is that where we come from, what we call home, is a space of unconditional love. That I do feel that in my knowing.
Yeah, and I think that's what we tap into every time you're in deep meditation and you feel that awe moment. It's like you tap into that unconditional love as a collective, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, let me see if Crayola Man, first time I've seen you on here, so thanks a lot for joining us. What are you saying here? Hear me out. What if what's going on is space is happening internally? What if the stories in the Bible were from the stars? Not sure if I understand that. I'm gonna read.
You mean
read it.
like Hollow Earth?
What if what's going on is space?
Because I think we're surrounded by the firmament, and that got heaven's right there, and that's why they lie. And then I think that we do have a hollow earth, and that is where all of these big giants from the Bible are right now.
Do you believe in hollow earth?
Yes.
Tiffany? Okay, so you believe that that the world is, I'm just trying to put it in context, that the world is hollow and there's an inner earth within it. Was that how
I think we're like a snow globe. I do think we're kind of like a flat earth, but it's like a snow globe, and there is stuff underneath of us. So, but we say hollow earth, but also who knows, again, it could be a dimensional portal, and that's just how our brains perceive it. I don't know, but they definitely can get there through Antarctica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's my understanding. What you just said, the last part.
Well, man knows what I'm talking about.
Krella knows. I do. That's the way I perceive what hollow earth is. Okay, which is a portal. There's portals all over the planet. If we also believe the context that it's a spherical planet. And I believe that folks like Admiral Byrd, who first went into, the hollow earth, he may have just flew into a portal, period. And he was in a different dimensional space. Could have been, another layer that resides on top of our current realm. It could be so many different things. But what I'm saying is that I don't believe, from my understanding, that that the earth is hollowed, but I believe that there definitely was a portal that will take you into another dimensional space. So,
but what about have you seen that video of I don't remember what country where they drilled really deep and the sound of hell, all the screams?
No.
You haven't heard that?
No,
I thought everyone had heard that.
No,
it's a recording. It's a recording of hell. I don't. Of course, I don't know the details right now.
Yeah.
But they were drilling, and it's the deepest people have drilled. I don't know. And they started hearing screaming, and they recorded it. And it's people say it's a recording of hell.
Wow, well that's interesting.
But they could have just dropped it into a portal.
They could have just dropped it into a portal, or if you also have a belief that a lot of humanity and extraterrestrials live underneath, Earth's surface. Maybe you were drilling into their home, oh, hey, what is that? Yeah, it could have been that too. I mean, there's so many ways to look at that, but that's interesting though. The screams of hell.
Yeah, of hell. Yeah.
That is
And I
wild.
recently heard that we discovered an ocean beneath the ocean, which I don't even know what that
Yes.
means.
Yeah.
How is there an
No,
ocean beneath the ocean?
there's pockets. There's pockets. It's the same concept as, like, for example, people go so far deep into the ocean that then they get into a pocket of air that there's a cave. So now they're deep inside the ocean, but still in a cave where there shouldn't be, like tavern or not taverns. Like I'm gonna say hallways, but whatever, inside caves and everything, but they exist all around. There's pockets of space, whether it be temporal or physical, that exists all around this realm, and because we don't explore these areas often, because we don't have the equipment for it, it's become something that's a head scratcher for most folks. So yeah, there's rivers to add to what you said. There's rivers that flow within the ocean. I don't mean like rivers that flow like, like they connect to the ocean. They're in the ocean and there's rivers.
Yeah, I have heard that. I
Yeah.
have heard
Yeah.
that, but I didn't know like if it meant so like an ocean with so like if there was like a bottom to the ocean and then they drilled through it and underneath was another ocean. Like I didn't know.
Well, what's considered a bottom? I mean, if we're
Well,
talking,
exactly.
depending where you're standing, right? If we're looking at, again, by context, a spherical world, right? We're up here and there's this other part down here. What's considered bottom?
Just doesn't make sense, Cesar.
I know.
It doesn't make sense. I am not on a spinning ball.
But
I would get so dizzy.
Yeah. We're spinning apparently like thousands and thousands of miles, not only on
It's ludicrous.
this ball, but then around the sun, then around the galaxy, then around, the whatever else comes after that.
And don't ever hit anything.
Never hit anything. Why would you?
It's just like that's insane. Like
Yeah.
the fact that they ever got people to move from a flat earth, because everyone believed that at one time.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they even got them to like, can you imagine? Because everyone, you walk flat. Like how could and they're like, no, it's a ball and it's spinning in space. And people are like, oh, okay, yeah, I believe that.
It makes sense. Why would you? And we had astronauts that went up there. We're like, oh, okay, like.
Mhm.
It's all fed. It's all fed to you. And it's wild because a lot of the things that you and I grew up learning in school, science-wise, and about astronomy and things like that, a lot of that junk is in the garbage now. In the trash. I remember when I used to do like coat hangers and the planets and things like that.
Yeah.
Forget all that. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah. No.
Because the planets, are all different and things that at one point we had 11 planets. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had 11 planets. And it's like, because of the
My
metric.
son told me.
Yeah, the metric system of how they identified or defined what's considered a planet and an asteroid, Pluto, because they changed it. And so I'm like, wait a minute. When I heard that, I was like, oh, so people changed the math. And now that thing that used to be a planet no longer exists. It's irrelevant. Come on now. Give me a break. Really? Like we just like that. And on top of that, I wasn't part of the committee,
Yeah.
There was
we don't get to be a part of that committee.
Yeah, we didn't get it, right? So a council of like, let's say 12 of the most respected, I'm sure Neil DeTai, whatever his name is, was on that council.
You had to have lizard DNA probably.
You probably, you had to be able to use your fingerprint and your claw came out and it's like, yep, you're good. And you can change the rules. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Look at what this comment, you have to pin that one.
Which one?
That we're in the water right now.
Okay, hold on. Here it is. All right. Carlos says, yes, different densities of water in this realm. We are also in water right now. Put a dehumidifier in your room, wait an hour and see how much water you get. Absolutely. So I'll add to that comment here, Carlos. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
The way I also understand this is how you mentioned earlier about, space not really obviously existing. So right outside of the firmament, this is my understanding, folks. Okay, this is Caesar. Right outside this firmament, whatever that may be, and the firmament, I look at it as not like glass, but it's more of an energetic frequency. Okay, so this is why things don't go out or come in per se unless they're aligned with it. But right outside, there's a layer of water. This is what space is. I don't mean all of space is water. There's just a layer, a nice thick layer, and this is where the astronauts go to. So this is why when you see them training, you see them training in water.
They train in water, yeah.
Right? They don't train. I mean, we have technology to create a giant vacuum, but why waste time with that?
See, I don't even think they get that far.
Well,
you think they're able to get past? Because
no. I don't think they're getting.
Remember the last eclipse? How they were testing missiles? They were like randomly like shooting them in the air on the eclipse, and I think there had to have been something where the firmament was like weakened or something. Because I think that all of these the elite, they're just trying to like break into heaven.
Yeah,
because they're all fallen angels.
They're all fallen angels and everything. And there's and in Caesar's understanding is that even though I said firmament and then I mentioned also thin layer of water, that's just one level. When you break from that, you go into another heaven, to use the word that you said, because this, believe it or not, is a heaven. It's one of many heavens.
I thought this was hell.
Well, and that's how one would perceive it. That's how some of you agree that this is hell. Okay, I perceive it as one of many heavens. But when we think about the word heaven, we look at it as like angelic and peaceful and stuff. Based off of what? Based off of what?
The Bible.
And again, Caesar's saying something else though. The Bible is like a DJ. It's a remix of a lot of information.
Which is why you have to study all of the religions, because there's no way that all of that is false if that many different, like, it's the same stories are coming in different forms.
Absolutely.
And like that's why I think this is, Lucifer was cast down and the angels fell, and this is like Lucifer's playground.
I respect that and everything. And this is how and it's all interesting though, because as we have conversations like this and we share information, something in between what you believe and what I believe and everything, there's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And when people take the time to allow that conversation to just continue and just go, eventually you'll be like, both of you would be like, that part, I'm with you. That has to be the truth there. So this is, I respect it. Even though I said this is one of a few heavens, I also entertain the fact that this could be hell. They're both right. Everybody, because I'm big on respecting the fact that everybody has their own truth. So, and we're all gods. Okay, we're all spiritual beings. So what you think is happening is right. What I think is happening is right. What everyone here on this live is thinking is happening is right. It's all happening. This is why we talk about. This is what dimensional spaces are all about. Potential outcomes and everything. Everybody, you're all right. If you say that this is what's happening, I'm with you. Ricardo says the water's above. Yeah, they talk about it all the time. Tiffany, I'm going to ask you based off of what he just said there too. The sky's blue. Why do you think the sky's blue? Just in your opinion.
Water, because the water.
Because of water up there. Yeah, yeah. But what if? Right? And I'm not saying I know all the answers. I'm just saying, just entertain this. What if the answer is as simple as that? What if it's as simple as that? What if the sky is blue because there's water?
Aren't most things in life the simple answer?
Yeah.
Why are we so programmed to make everything so complex?
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. And we are basically programmed to completely not listen to any of our intuition,
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy that how did anybody get all of these things started? To get everyone to listen.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody said here, Krayla says we're all astronauts. Absolutely. Carlos says, it's heaven and hell depending on your reception. Yeah. I agree with you on that. Cassandra says, she loves our hats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You'll be seeing it just one time. So enjoy it and stuff.
Speak for yourself. I'm going to be wearing hats now every single time. No, just kidding.
I love it. Okay, so we got about a good decent 10 minutes or so of this live. Tiffany, do you want to pick somebody out? How should we do this? Should we do like first come, first serve, or somebody just kind of does a particular emoji or a message or something? Let's see here.
Because I have to have their permission.
Yeah. Okay, so let me try this. If you're willing to have a live oracle reading being done right now on the live by Tiffany, just put down 369, all right, on there. And the first one that comes in, you're the winner. We talked about simplicity just a few minutes ago, so let's keep it that simple. First 369 that I see come on the live chat.
Nobody wants a reading.
And also that means as well that you are giving your permission for Tiffany to connect with you and do this. So,
I mean, if nobody wants one,
we got one. Yeah, we got one.
Yeah.
Angel Gonzalez, also known as Carlos, he threw it in there. All right, Tiffany. Carlos is in.
Okay. Do you want him to like ask me a question or
sure,
do like what like
it's
is ahead for 2026?
It's up to you. How do you normally do it? If somebody's doing
Either
one
way.
of these, okay, Carlos. Tiffany's giving you the opportunity to ask a question.
But I also know that's kind of like weird on like a live.
Well, it's up to Carlos.
Although on my lives, people have come on there and I'm like, that's very personal.
Yeah.
This is live, like, and recorded.
Yeah. So Carlos, whatever you ask is live and recorded. So if you want to ask a question, ask it. If not, just let us know. I'm good.
Like what's ahead for 2026 or something.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see if he does that. Let's see. Krella Man says it's probably simple and we're overthinking it. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll give Carlos a moment to ask a question. Carlos, don't forget, don't take too long because we're on a live. So if you have a question, let us know. If not, then just let us know that too. Say, I'm good. Carlos says anything she feels, I have no boundaries. All right, can you work with that, Tiffany? Can you work with that? He's an open book. All right.
Okay. Well, we'll just like look at a couple things. Okay.
I feel like we're going to find out Carlos is a reptilian.
I don't tell stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So for shuttle nut, what? Okay. So for something to like just that you need to personally leave behind, I am showing like you coming out of some sort of like journey that you've been on. So like some sort of learning. Normally it would be like something that you've like rabbit holed. So something that maybe you have been studying or something like that. But also there's this jealousy that you've been feeling. So I don't know if it's jealousy. Like I feel like it's more jealousy at the progress that others are making rather than like jealousy of a lover or something. But a part of this is that, you are being very tested right now. Like you're in another stage of your awakening. So things are being pushed forward for you to shed. So they're basically telling you to try to stay present, telling you to not compare yourself to others. You need to stop comparing yourself to others, leave that behind you for 2025. They want you to carry just your spirituality into 2026. Right now, it looks like you're trying to find like your soul tribe, like on this journey of trying to find like the right people. I think it's coming in 2026 and that you need to focus on you shedding those things, embracing your spirituality, moving into 2026, because the path you're on right now is showing you like not very rooted in what you want. So I think this is going to help you understand what you want. 2026 has some big manifestation energy for you. So if you can release the feeling of needing to keep up with other people and really tune into what you want and then focus on your own growth, you're going to be able to manifest the life you want next year. Because I feel like there's several big things kind of that you're working towards right now, but also you're good if like one of two scenarios come out and you need to like really just focus. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to know like what job you want or like, but it's more about a frequency you're putting out. So like how do you want to feel with your, if you're looking for somebody romantically, like how do you want to feel with your partner? How do you want to feel in 2026? How do you want to feel when you walk into work? Then the universe delivers the right fit. I hope that resonates. I don't know.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah, Carlos, reflect on that. And if you feel like you are able to get us back on the comments, not right now on the live, but get us back on the comments so folks on the playback can see, any of that hit for you. But I like it. And Tiffany, you mentioned about him finding his tribe and everything. Look, he says, I'll put up on the screen so everybody can see. He says, "Wow, thank you. That's spot on." Yeah, I was going to say that you mentioned, because I know Carlos and everything, and he about finding his tribe. I hope you found your tribe, by joining our Discord here for the 369 Collective and stuff. So I know he was on that journey. So I love it. Christina she says, I just wanted to mention I had a reading with Tiffany a few months ago, and the cards that came out couldn't have been more in tune with what I was going through. Her guidance helped me out a lot. Christina, appreciate it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember you, darling.
Yeah,
I remember your little picture right there.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, yeah, Tiffany's one of the best. When it comes to oracles, I don't know much of anybody. I know I know 3 people total, to include you, that do the oracle readings. And I'll tell you this, you're definitely spot on. So I like it. And you've done readings for me too. So I appreciate you on that too. All right, so guys, we've definitely hit that 2-hour mark. We've been here. We thank you so much for joining us, Tiffany. If you give the folks one more time, some last words of inspiration for the remainder of the year, and then also plug in how people can find you if they want to continue to support you.
Yeah, I think something that's come through like really clear is let's really focus as a collective on grounding and plugging into one another, really as corny as it always sounds, but just focus on like the light. And it's kind of easy during the holiday season too, to focus on the beauty of it all and just togetherness and family. But plugging into our own frequency as well, that's going to be extremely important in 2026. So like rather than focusing on your resolutions, try to focus on what frequency you want to bring into 2026 and start practicing it, feeling it in meditation. That's my advice. And then if you want to find me, I have Rooted Frequency podcast on YouTube. Also, I have a website, rootedfrequencypodcast.com.
Yes.
And I go live every Tuesday on YouTube at noon with reading.
Tuesdays, yes, folks. No, catch everything that she does. Again, just go to her website. You'll get all the information. Check out her podcast on YouTube. She talks about a lot of great things. If you guys enjoyed this conversation today, she's got more of it. Okay, and I also want to give a shout out here to just another avatar who just donated a little Merry Christmas contribution to the podcast. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. That means a whole lot and everything. So thank you again. This was fun. Tiffany, did you have a good time?
Yes, of course. I always love coming on here.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and
thank
folks,
you, everyone.
Yeah, folks, you guys, the reason I call this Beyond 369, the live current, is because we're doing this live and you are the current, okay? You're that conscious current between me and my guests and you guys. We just keep it flowing and everything. And I appreciate it. We can't have a live podcast without you guys participating and engaging. So the fact that a lot of you have stayed with us from the beginning of this episode means a whole world to us. We just love every single one of you. And I'm going to say again, if you guys support me, by all means, you're gonna love what Tiffany is doing on her podcast. So please go show her love. Just hit the like button and subscribe, and boom, done, and you're there. Okay, because it helps her out as well. And with that being said, folks, as always, I love you. I see you. I hear you. I am you. Continue to ask questions. Don't be afraid to pull back the curtain, push forward, always reaching beyond the frequency.